An often question that I get is, hey, I'm going to look at a Jetfire. What do I need to know when I go look at it? That's the same question I had for Ken Dennison right before we bought this car. I believe it was in February 2012. And figure I'll make a video for people to look it up themselves. But feel free to contact me. First key thing, Jetfires are all hardtop cars. There's no B-pillar on a Jetfire. So you roll the window down, there's no post. All F85s and all Cutlasses had a B-pillar. So if the car you're looking at has a B-pillar, it is not a Jetfire. It means someone put Jetfire trim on it or a Jetfire engine. Either way, it's not a real Jetfire. The other thing, they never made a Jetfire convertible. There are some convertibles out there. People have turned into Jetfires with the trim and the engine, and they're fantastic cars. I'm not trying to take away from those cars at all because they're wonderful cars. But if you're seeking a true Jetfire, they didn't actually make a convertible one. The next thing I would point out is the radiator. All Jetfires had cross-flow radiators. It's very, very early for cross-flow radiators. I think the only car that had it before the Jetfire, I might be wrong on this, I think the 61 Corvette, I think some of those had a cross-flow. But anyway, all Jetfires had cross-flows. The F85 and Cutlass had the tubes that ran up and down. I think some 63 Jetfire, 63 Cutlass with air conditioning. Some of them got the cross-flow cross-flow radiator. The next thing, let me raise the garage, raise the garage door, get more light. The next thing is the cal tag. If you can send me pictures of cal tags would be great. We document all the Jetfire cal tags we can. But 3147, whether it's 62 or 63 car, that 3147 means it's a Jetfire. Well, that 3147 don't technically mean Jetfire. It actually means hardtop. But lucky for us, all Jetfire were hardtop and no other car was a hardtop. So that means 3147 has to be a Jetfire. The next thing, people ask about carburetor numbers. Carburetor numbers are really not important on a Jetfire. There were 62 and 63 carburetors with several differences. Some changes were mid-year changes. Sorry about that. Get that focused. Some were mid-year changes, some were late-year changes, some were 63 changes. There was many variations of this carburetor. But the most important thing would be whether it's a manual transmission car carburetor or an automatic car carburetor. That would be the main difference that would be important. A manual transmission car had a manual choke on it. This choke housing, this is an automatic choke. A manual choke car has a choke cable. And so yeah, if you had a manual transmission, you're gonna have a choke cable right here for a manual choke. Automatic cars did not have the choke cable. But yeah, there is a difference between manual transmission and automatic transmission carburetors. Other than the obvious thing of the choke, there's really, an automatic car will have these. This is for the choke. This would be the fresh air going in, going down to the manifold, which this would be in the air cleaner, and then comes up this other side up into the choke for the automatic choke, where a manual transmission car won't have that tube or this tube. The most important thing you're going to find on Jetfires is if the engine is a turbo engine. On the cylinder head, I think this is focused in, S1, the 1 means it's a 62, and it will end with a T for turbo. All Jetfires had T at the end of the engine number. The block on 62 Jetfires starts with an HHI. If that'll focus, there we go. So HHI is a 62 Jetfire block. The other thing, if the car was converted to 4-barrel carburetor, then you want to see if they have the turbo system. If they do not have the turbo system, the turbo systems are available. I've got a few, some other people have some, so you'll be able to find them. The harder parts to find are the valve covers. If the car was converted to carburetor and don't have the Jetfire valve covers, these are specific to Jetfire. The oil return from the turbo goes into the passenger side valve cover. And on a Jetfire, the dipstick tube comes up onto the valve cover. Where F85 and Cutlass, the dipstick just points straight out here. Them dipsticks are very tough to find. What else? Oh, well, here, let me show you. I've got a 63 Jetfire engine. And that S2, the 2 right there, that means it's a 63 engine. And there's the T for the Jetfire, for the turbo. Then you got the JJ for 63. The engine block started with JJ for a Jetfire. 63 does have another engine block code. I do not remember what that code is. I'll try to find that and add that in the comment section. It's pretty rare to have that other code, but there is one other engine block code that is not JJ. But really, that's the most important things. The passenger side exhaust manifold is specific to Jetfire. So if it's been converted to carburetor, you want to see if it comes with that manifold. The driver's side manifold's no big deal because you can use the same Cutlass or Jetfire manifold, but this one is specific to Jetfire. Outside of that, it's just a matter of options and how pure the car is. Like this one has power steering. This one has power brakes. This is the vacuum reservoir for the power brakes. A lot of people wonder what that is. Most cars don't have that. And the power brake booster is actually under the dash, where it looks like a manual brake car, but this one's actually power brake. I'll go ahead and show you the brake booster. It might be dark under there, so you may not be able to see it. Yeah, you can't see it well, but this is the brake booster. Majority of Jetfires I have seen have 2-speed wiper with window washer. Don't know if that was standard. I don't think it was, but I don't know that I've ever seen a Jetfire that didn't have that version. Then it comes down to just how pure is the car. Like this one here still has the assembly sticker 104. That 104, I'd have to look it up in the book, but I believe that means the whole front suspension setup had power steering. I believe it was power steering, and then if it was a manual steering car, that number would have been different. I think air conditioning cars, that number would have been different. I've only ever found 2 of these stickers. I've never found another one. But this car has almost 90,000 miles on it. It's original paint car. But back to the main issue is the numbers. I think that's mostly what you need to know when you're going to look at a Jetfire. There's so many critical things, which my air cleaner's not on here, but look at my other videos, you'll see what the air cleaner is. This hose here goes to the back of the air cleaner. That hose is tough to find. Those PCV valves are pretty easy to get, but that hose is really hard to find. Shut my door. I guess one other thing is this fluid tank. These fluid tanks are so hard to find. So if you're trying to buy a Jetfire and it's missing this fluid tank or it's completely rusted out, you're going to have to try and negotiate the price, because it's not the fact they're expensive, it's the fact you just can't find one. I've accumulated one extra one. Actually, I think I've got 2 extra ones now. But those are, when these 2 are gone, you're going to be lucky to ever find one. I wouldn't sell one for less than, I don't think I'd let my next one go for less than $700. But when they're gone, and they're just not easy to find. I would definitely negotiate the price if it's missing. If the turbo system's missing, they can range, just from turbo to carburetor, they can range anywhere from 300 to 800. It seems like these days for a core needing rebuilt. You're not going to get one that don't need rebuilt. All of them have to be rebuilt. But other than that, I think that's all I've got. Those are the key things you need to know. Later.